Hi everyone. It's about time I wrapped up some projects I'd already started, and so today I'm returning to do part two of where the wild things are. Wild things or mild things, depending, as I said in the description of the last one, depending on your point of view, what you're looking for, and what type you identify with, and what temperamental leanings are associated with that. So this one's going to be, very scattershot, but what I'll share with you are trends in terms of where a greater than usual number of certain types uh, tend to congregate out there in the in the world. I'm using Kiersey as a reference here. His work, Please Understand Me's volumes 1 and 2. And I'm also using my own direct observations from being a middle-aged person who's been hither and yon in life, an ENFP, who's had contact with all different kinds of people and in all kinds of places. So if ever there were a video that required a disclaimer, this would be it, because this is a it is stereotyping to an extent. So I need to say at the outset that I do not mean to imply anywhere in this that just because I've noticed, or Kiersey has noticed, that there is a preponderance of people of certain types in a given domain of the outside world than usual, than in the truly random situations. That is not to say that you couldn't conceive, you couldn't find and you wouldn't find members of all the types, all 16 types, in all of these places I'm going to mention, because you would. All kinds of people do go all kinds of places, and just because you have a temperamental bent for this or that doesn't mean you're going to be able or even wanting to express that publicly, if at all. Maybe there are going to be constraints upon your going with your temperamental leanings, either self-imposed or imposed externally by your circumstances. So, and again, just because you lean to one thing doesn't mean that that's what you do. And it doesn't mean that that's what you're going to be good at. And it doesn't mean that's what you're going to, let alone do a whole lot of. So these are just really, really, really loose guidelines, and they may or may not be helpful. You have to go see if you try them out. But this is what I have noticed. This is what I have read. Okay? So I guess we should start at the top as like, what are the kinds of venues? I'll go by, it's kind of by venue. Where are the kinds of venues, public venues, where you're going to find everybody? A mall, a shopping mall food court. I believe this to be a truly random assortment of people. Jury duty, whoever's on jury duty. Not random random maybe according to type, not random according to how that jury has been selected by the committees working for the lawyers, for the prosecution and the defense. Where primary school, that's where you're just going to see all kinds of people all mixed together all the time. Although the teachers of primary school will much more often be SJs than from any of the other quads. Kiersey quads, I'm going to be mentioning Kiersey quads a whole lot here. What else is totally random? IKEA. Everybody loves IKEA. Costco. Everybody loves Costco. Even the far left wingers, can't resist Costco because their labor practices are pretty excellent for a large company. So, Starbucks. Most people like Starbucks, but I have a specification on that. So there's all kinds of places where you're going to see all kinds of people. The highway. Just being stupid now. All right. So let's start at the top. N's versus S's. Well, S's, sensors, people with the sort of more concrete information gathering preference, you're going to find them everywhere because they are the majority. They are at least 66% of the general population, and some would have it much, considerably higher than that, up to maybe, even 70 something percent. So sensors, that there just are more of them, period. So there are going to be more of them all around, except for some very, very niche places. So as for people who have the so-called intuitive information gathering preference, those that have N in the anagrams of their Myers-Briggs temperament indicator type profiles, Those are the ones that have more of a penchant for creative thinking, abstract thinking, conceptual thinking. And those people will definitely, more of them, period, are going to be found in domains where there's a lot of conceptualizing going on, where that's a major focus. So that would be wherever there's a lot of the arts going on, a lot of the humanities stuff going on. Any I joked about, but I'm not really joking, not joking. In the first part, I was saying that wherever, all kinds of, quote, useless things are being done. So that would mean not necessarily immediately, things that don't have an immediate, highly practical application implied in their activity. That's where you're going to find definitely a lot more ends than usual. Because ends are gravitate to those things where they can use their sort of creative, abstract thinking preferences. That's where they can come into play. So